Hello guys, and welcome to another direct comparison video. This one focusing on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 versus Battlefield 2042. Guys, I had a ton of fun recording this video, and I hope you guys enjoy watching it as well. And as I always say with these direct comparison videos, I'm not trying to say that one of these games is worse than the other. I personally enjoy both of them, and I feel like the comparisons I'm making in this video show the strengths of both games. So if you're a bigger fan of Modern Warfare 2, I feel like this video's got something for you. And if you're a bigger fan of Battlefield 2042, it shows that game's strengths as well. And either way, guys, I hope you guys enjoy the comparison. Let's dive in. Starting with Modern Warfare 2, our first comparison is how C4 affects interactable doors between the two games. As you can see, the C4 simply opened the door, but did leave a pretty impressive blast effect around the frame. 2042, on the other hand, handles this scenario quite a bit differently. This comparison shows the differences in damage decals used when shooting an armored target with an RPG. As you can see in Modern Warfare 2, the point of impact is shown with a large blast mark that shows where the armor of the tank was burned by the explosion. While in 2042, the explosion leaves a pretty impressive looking burning hole in the tank, though it quickly disappears. And speaking of both games featuring tanks, in Modern Warfare 2, when you shoot the main gun of a tank near foliage or trees, the blast doesn't affect the trees at all. While in 2042, the blast of the tank pushes all the foliage away, and it looks pretty cool. While the trees of Modern Warfare 2 can be affected by explosives such as C4. While the same scenario in Battlefield 2042 simply knocks the trees down.
Our forces are moving to attack Alpha 1.
This next comparison will show the differences in blood decals between the two games. As you can see in Modern Warfare 2, blood decals are left when shooting fallen enemies. And though this isn't the same for Battlefield 2042, the game does feature blood spatter animations on fallen enemies, which is a first for the franchise. This next comparison was brought up to me by a friend who mentioned just how little of your character you can see when you look down in Modern Warfare 2 versus how much you can see in Battlefield 2042. In this next comparison, I wanted to compare the C4 blast marks that would be made on objects that appear in both games, and I chose shipping containers. As you can see in Modern Warfare 2, the C4 left a really impressive large blast mark on the shipping container. And while a blast mark is left on the shipping container in 2042, the effect is less impressive in my opinion.
Enemy moving on Alpha 1.
Now in this next section, we're going to compare some of the differences in how you can interact with vehicles found in between the two games. Starting with a comparison of what happens when you shoot vehicles' tires. As you can see in Modern Warfare 2, the tire simply deflates, lowering the vehicle. While in 2042, the entire wheel just falls off. Moving on to how the windows and windshields break, in Modern Warfare 2, the windows can take a few shots before breaking and have different stages of damage. While in 2042, the windows break in one shot, but you could argue the shattering effect itself looks better than Modern Warfare 2. And finally, moving on to a comparison of the vehicle's explosion. As you can see in Modern Warfare 2, it's kind of hard to tell for sure if the truck is even fully destroyed. This isn't the case in Battlefield 2042. Complete with a huge explosion effect that has smoke that impressively casts a shadow of the smoke onto the ground, and the alarm is the cherry on top. Moving on to a comparison of how gunfire affects the ground when you shoot it. As you can see in Modern Warfare 2, where the bullet meets the ground, you can see the dirt being cast in all directions away from the gunshot. And while Battlefield 2042 has its own effect, it's not as impressive as we see in Modern Warfare 2. Moving on now to another interesting comparison of how C4 interacts with water between the two games. As you can see in Modern Warfare 2, the C4 slowly sinks into the water and then after detonation eventually breaks the surface of the water. While in 2042, the C4 will explode the same regardless of the depth. But one awesome detail that 2042 has over Modern Warfare 2 in this regard is that when the C4 blows up on the beach and creates a crater, the coming tide actually fills that crater with water and it looks great. Moving on now to a comparison of what it looks like when you destroy a tank in each game. As you can see in Modern Warfare 2, there's a small fire effect and all of the armor on the tank is charred. While in 2042, the explosion blows the tank in half and feels much more Michael Bay-esque. Now, this next comparison actually functions the exact same between the two games, but the only reason I'm showing it is because I want to see this get better and cooler in future Call of Duty and Battlefield games. What I'm doing here is throwing a smoke grenade inside of a house with the windows closed, and the smoke explodes out of the house as if the walls aren't even there. How much cooler would it be if the smoke stayed inside the house until you broke out the windows and then it started to come out? That's what I want to see in future games. Moving on to my next comparison, which shows how each game handles your weapons appearing wet from rain. As you can see in Modern Warfare 2, the gun just has a wet shine to it that the weapon wouldn't have if the map wasn't raining. Whereas in Battlefield 2042, the weapons accumulate droplets of water on them that, in my opinion, look more impressive. Moving on to another tank comparison, as you can see in Modern Warfare 2, when you drive a tank, the treads themselves do not leave tracks on the ground. While this isn't the case in Battlefield 2042. In this next comparison, I just wanted to highlight the difference in quality in the takedown animations between the two games. Which leads us to another smoke grenade comparison, because I found it interesting in Modern Warfare 2 that when you throw a smoke grenade in the water, it doesn't detonate immediately. As you can see, the grenade bounced off the surface of the water and then detonated. Whereas in Battlefield 2042, the smoke grenade detonates as normal. Which leads me to my final comparison in this video, because I found it interesting. In Modern Warfare 2, when helicopters enter the battlefield, the speed at which the propellers spin on the helicopters looks normal. Whereas in Battlefield 2042, the propellers on the helicopter seem to spin at whatever rate they want to, going from really slow to not spinning at all. So guys, thank you for making it to the end of the video. This has been my direct comparison of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 versus Battlefield 2042. And guys, as I said at the beginning of the video, I enjoy playing both of these games, and I felt like I could just keep recording comparisons between these two games forever. I eventually had to stop. I mean, there's so many different comparisons that were left on the cutting room floor that I wanted to include in this video, but the video just would have drug on forever. I'm probably going to have to make a part 2 because there's just so much that I couldn't fit into this video, and I had to end it somewhere. So here it is. This is what you get. But guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the comparison, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.